Welcome to the Wasting Time podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with Nick, and we have a special guest for our intro. We have DeHan from the band Free Friends. What's up, Ben?
Hello. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Free Friends has been kind of popping up on my Spotify for a few years now, and I think I put a video on Instagram where I featured one of your songs, and I basically said, anytime you release something, I'll put it on like my current playlist, and then it basically never leaves. So
yeah, much appreciated. We love that you're rinsing the songs.
I was going to say, Ben, I don't know if you want to give us like a really short kind of blurb history of Free Friends for maybe our listeners who would be new to you.
To keep it super short, like my original band had some early on success. We were called American Diary. I left the band when I was super young, maybe 22. Went into the workforce because I thought that would be easier. It turned out that was not easier. After about 8 years of that, and within the first week that I met my wife, I quit the corporate job, went back to music full time, and somehow it's just naturally come together with me and Lauren, my wife, who I didn't even know played cello for the first 6 months or any instrument that we were together. And we had no intentions. We didn't want to play music together, but it just happened, and now we love it. And then we found Gil along the way also. And so yeah, hi, we're Free Friends from Baltimore, Maryland. We're emotive, what do we have? Explosive, emotive pop punk with cello is the elevator pitch, I guess.
Yeah, nice description. I'll tell you what, we'll ask a couple more Free Friends related questions in a minute, but before we do, let's take a quick minute to talk about like new releases, as Nick and I would do anyway. I think I fired a couple across to you guys. If there's anything else you want to discuss, obviously bring them up. First one I think I listed though was The Paradox, who were the guests on the last episode of the Wasting Time podcast. Just put out a single with Travis Barker. How are you guys feeling about that?
Catchy as hell.
Yeah, it's a great track. I literally just watched the Travis Barker Warped Tour video. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And it's it's a really fun, cool song. But I just love how they don't take themselves too seriously. They've got fucking Travis Barker on stage, like playing drums for them, and the guy's like tuning his guitar, not even muting his guitar when he's tuning it. They're just really kind of refreshing, and I think bringing a completely new energy. And I think that song kind of, I guess shows that energy, doesn't it?
Nice. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Ben?
I totally agree. It's just like that ultra modern pop punk vibe, and it draws from every area of the genre. It's really cool to hear that. I love his voice. It got this uniquely sweet kind of pop punk high punch to it. It kind of maybe reminds me a little bit of Yellow Card with that vocal punch there, but I hear bits of Alistair. I hear obviously Travis in there. It's very possible that they'd be the next Blink-182 for Gen Z. Yeah,
I think that's it as well. You see them as a band that are gonna capture that younger audience now, and we spoke to the Driveways boys the other day, and not the other day, it was a couple of months back, and they're like high school teachers, and I remember them. Yep. We were asking them whether like kids in their classes acknowledge what they're doing and who they are, and they're like, no kids at that age group are really listening to this kind of music, and we're from like the elder emo kind of era, as we all call it now, but you feel like the Paradox will be that band that could, capture a bit more of the younger crowd into the genre
potentially.
Totally. I thought that the younger crowd was. Our drummer is only 21, right? And I'm really pushing 40. yeah. So we have a big breadth of age, and him and all his friends, and they think the things that we did in the 2000s, are the coolest thing in the world. So I don't know. I mean, like, it's definitely making a comeback for.
And maybe, hey, Nick, maybe that's just unique to Pat and Derek's students. You know, maybe it's,
Yeah,
you know, in
they just don't want to know.
up in Boston, but you know where they're teaching, it's not a thing. Maybe it's just specific to that.
They got a couple fans. I would say.
Yeah, they're doing all right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think this Paradox song's super fun. Or you know, all the songs so far have been, and I'm curious because we on the episode we talked about they've done stuff with Feldman, they've done more stuff with Travis, so I'm just curious to see what's next. I mean, we can all guess vaguely what the sound's going to be like, but you know, if the songwriting continues to be strong like that, then yeah, it's going to be entertaining. Look forward to seeing them when they come over to the UK at the start of next year as well.
All right, okay, cool. What they're doing? Have they got many dates over here? Or?
They're on the all-time low tour, so they're one of several supports
probably.
on that. But I assume they'll at least do a London show around their own London show around that. So I'll definitely try and catch that.
It's another hometown band, all time low.
Oh yeah, of course,
yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Our band, well, my band, American Diary, actually started out with all time low. Yeah.
Really.
Right.
So did you know those guys quite well back in those days?
We sure did. Yeah. We
Amazing.
played some of our first shows together. Yeah, and that band almost signed to Hopeless back in 2006. But yeah, it's been a journey, man.
Is the Baltimore scene thriving back then? Like, was it pretty good, or is it small?
Yeah,
or?
man, it was thriving. Yeah, because I mean, one of the artists that we're going to talk about next, I assume, Good Charlotte, also from Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a nice segue. Yeah.
There you go.
Obviously, famously from that part of the world. Yeah, I mean, I think they've put out a couple of clips of two other songs for the record, which I think comes out a week on Friday, or if this episode comes out start next week, it'll be the end of this week as you're listening to it. Anyway, I think I was referencing the song Stepper when I sent you guys New Good Charlotte. So let's focus on that one for now. What are you guys' thoughts on that song?
I think Benji and Joel are, phenomenally underrated songwriters. I mean, I gotta rep Maryland. They're a huge influence on me. They write really good songs. They're very good pop rock songwriters, and they're great at it. I think this is just it's a solid pop rock song, in my opinion. It's not, they're not trying to recreate Young and the Hopeless. They're just kind of evolving to where they are currently, and
Yeah.
it's got that Zach Cervini kind of sound, like a little bit of
Definitely.
a darker undertone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's about
That's
what
really interesting. I wrote a note and it said pop rock, not pop punk anymore. That was my
Yeah,
my
I
note
think that's
coming into
intentional. I
Yeah.
agree.
I
I
think-
agree.
I think they've kind of been moving away. I mean, Cardiology was probably like the last real kind of pop punk record. I don't know,
I
would
disagree.
you say?
They did that Feldman one. That was quite pop punk in places.
Poppy.
Youth Authority.
Yeah.
That had a few.
Yeah, I dismissed them kind of both initially, but I've definitely like warmed to them with more listens, and I did the old kind of played it for the first time on my mobile phone, speakers, and didn't really give it the justice it probably deserved. And when I went back to it with a set of headphones, actually, I was like, it's got a big. They both got big sounds.
Yeah.
They are quite similar though. I think I'm definitely keen to see what the rest of the record brings, because I feel they are a little bit samey, that kind of slow, kind of soft chorus, and then a big anthemic verse, and then big kind of chuggy rock chorus. It's so yeah. Let's see what the rest of the record brings, I guess.
I don't really need to add. I would say everything that Ben, apart from representing Maryland, I have no game there. I'm not interested in that. Apart from that part, everything Ben said is my feelings on the song, I would say. Easy.
Cool.
Didn't know you were a big JC fan, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Do love a bit of GC. I mean, like Nick and I have always been kind of big fans, but yeah, I've always been very loyal, and certainly agree with what you say about the Madden's been underrated songwriters.
Criminally.
I've always thought that.
Yeah.
When's your maid hoodie arriving, Chris?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's not even joking, Ben. Like I don't know if you saw. Well, I don't know if you saw, but Alt Press and Good Charlotte did like a thing last week, which is like they're doing a special edition of Alt Press along with either a made hoodie or a made. I think vinyl was an option as well, or a made T-shirt. So it's
How did I
like
miss that?
old school, bringing it back. Yeah, look at the alt press Instagram. Yeah,
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. I want that made hoodie.
Yeah, do it.
Because Josh owns All Press now, right? Or
He does. He does. Yeah. We Josh is a friend of the show. We know him a little bit. Let's move on because we have limited time, and I'm sure Ben and I could talk Good Charlotte all afternoon. What was? There was the Alkaline Trio song which came out the other week, which is obviously with going back to Travis Barker. What were your thoughts on that, guys?
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great song. I guess Trio have got like a catalog of like solid records where like three or four songs on the record stand out, and I think Oblivion's gonna be one of those tracks on this. I assume it's from a new record. I did see that they've done 3 tracks with Barker, but I don't know if you know anything about that, Chris. Is there like a
No, I didn't.
on the way?
I didn't know it was only 3 tracks they did with him, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like classic Alkaline Trio, I think, really, and it like it's one that really hits. So yeah, I'm a fan of it, and it's in my playlist.
I totally agree with you, Nick. I mean, I think it's Alkaline Trio in classic form. You know, I mean, it's there's Cure vibes, plus there's a little post Tom Blink in there too, I hear, but it's definitely got I mean, the lyrics are on point. And Adam Willard sounds good. You know, I mean, he's keeping it tight and he's bringing some muscle to it. It sounds like an Alkaline Trio song to me, which makes me happy. Yeah.
I think it's great. It's like the best Alkaline Trio song in about 20 years, I would say. I'd put it up on that kind of pedestal. I think it's really good. I love the lyrics, love the melody. The second half of the chorus, when it goes to that other melody, I just think sounds so good. So I'm all about it. Yeah. I'm
Cure vibes.
Excited to hear more.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. No, it's really good. It's really good. Okay, guys, shall we let's move on and talk about another new single, which is a song called Let a Man Down by a certain band called Free Friends. You did this with Jack the Underdog as well, who's quite prominent online. He does a lot of collab things as well.
Don't want these scars forever. Sometimes I like to watch it rain. Tomorrow's just another day. I fake a smile and waste away. Sometimes I just can't stop it. I trade my pain for profit. Sometimes I like to watch it rain.
Yeah, it's how are you feeling about the song, Ben? How's it been received so far?
It seems like people are loving it. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, people really seem to latch onto the line. I trade my pain for profit. You know, I mean, it's definitely drawing from the vulnerability of one of my favorite bands, like Jimmy Eat World. I always try to find a way to say honestly and genuinely exactly what I'm truly going through in simple terms, and the feedback's been really great. If people can connect with that, I love it. I wanted to make like a pop punk backcountry, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's a really fun song. Yeah, there's a part of the melody reminds me a little bit. There's one bit "Don't Tell Me It's Over" by Blink, which is one of the bonus songs on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I mean, just like reminds me of it in a good way, Like
Hell
it's
yeah.
I've been spinning it quite a lot recently. So how's the rest of the summer going into autumn looking for you, Ben? I see you've got a few. You're touring a little bit. Do you guys tour much with this project then?
It's been picking up more and more. Yeah.
Nice.
We just finished a string of dates with Pine Creek Academy.
Nice.
They're super talented, really great to tour with. And yeah, we're getting ready to announce some really fun things, big things. On top of we have the Mighty Vices run coming up in the Midwest through September, and then we'll be out with When the Sun Sets, and then a couple more bands after that I can't announce yet, but I am super excited about. So yeah, like some old school bands. It'll be fun. Yeah. We've been staying busy. We're releasing a full length in October, and yeah, we're just gonna play some shows and just keep doing what we do.
That's cool. Will the full length consist of the singles that have come out this year? Will they be part of that?
There will be more, yeah, but there will be singles from this year.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah. No, no. I realize obviously there'll be more to come, but I just meant yeah. Well, it includes the stuff that's already come out.
Yep, and yeah, we got collabs from like Magnolia Park, 408, Make Out, Hit the Lights, Sucker Punch,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Glimmers, uh, and who High Wire. I mean, the list goes
Yeah,
on.
yeah, 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 yeah. All appropriate names, but some big hitters there. That's really cool. So, anyone on your list that you're trying to collab with that hasn't happened yet?
Honestly, actually, I would love to write a song with Benji and Joel. That would be sick. Or I mean, if we're just saying people in general, I'm a huge fan of Good Hangs. I've been. I mean,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
we talk, but they're still haven't gotten them to collab yet. But I would love to. Driveways as well. Driveways as well. In our
nice.
community, those two would be top of my list.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Nice. And I guess maybe looking into next year, would you be keen to kind of do shows and go outside of the US as well? Is that something that's kind of in like
Absolutely.
in
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the future potentially?
We did a run in Canada last year with
Hmm.
Sucker Punch. So absolutely, yeah, we're looking to tour Europe, and you know we're slowly building momentum to getting out full time.
Well,
Nice.
we'll be watching very closely on this.
We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
fingers
Yeah.
crossed we'll see you over here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So now we come to today's full episode, which is with Jaret Reddick of the band Bowling for Soup. Big name in our scene. I had spoke to him a few weeks back. Enjoy.
My camera just yesterday started doing this thing where if I like move, it follows me, and I cannot figure out why it's doing it. And so I'm gonna try to be still, but
Yeah, it's kind of like the one like I have in my day job, like when we're in the conference room, it's just kind of like intelligently following
yeah.
you around.
And it would be super cool if I was like going, and over here, whatever. But like I'm not. Anyway, it was super annoying yesterday. We were doing my podcast,
Yeah,
Rockstar Show, and
yeah.
anyway. But I'm here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you giving us some of your time. Yeah, it's nice to virtually meet you anyway. Because I was just thinking about this just before you jumped on, like because I remember hearing, I think it was like Steve Lamacq on Radio One playing the Bitch song like summer of 2000, and like
Yeah.
being drawn in with that back then. And then obviously, you've been around over the years, and like I see you on social media and your podcast, and like we've got a few mutual friends and stuff. So it's nice to kind of converse with you for the first time. I feel like
Yeah, man.
we should have had you on this years ago, so it's good to make it happen finally.
I'm glad to be here.
Are you Texas based, by the way? Because I know because we were going to do this a couple of weeks ago, but you said like you got caught. There was like a storm or something, I think.
Yeah, I am in Texas, and it's so crazy that I was remembering that happened,
Yeah,
that the power was out. The power goes out where I'm at quite a bit, not as much where I live as where a couple of neighborhoods over because I'm on the same grid as like the police station and the fire station. But I almost didn't get to do today because there's electricians in my house.
Oh no.
And
Yeah.
so I just asked him, I was like, are y'all going to cut the power anytime in the next like 30 minutes or so? And he said, no. So
Okay.
we should be all right.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm in Texas.
Standard boring question. Talk me through a typical day when you're not on tour, because obviously, you mentioned your podcast before. I guess that will take up a lot of time in your week, and I know you do a fair few of these as well. So I wonder how much time that takes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically down to one now. Jaret Goes to the Movies. We did for about 8 years, and it was really fun, but it really did take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Rockstar Dad Show doesn't take up as much time as, because we have our producer Jack, who does most of the work on the opposite end. So it's basically just I just book the guests, and then
Yeah.
Gary and I get together and do the show. And honestly, I love that show so much because it's just time for Gary and I to spend, just bullshitting and doing what we do on the
Yeah.
bus anyway. And so, but yeah, typical day for me. It depends. Well, my wife and I sort of alternate getting up early with our youngest. And
How young's your youngest?
he's 12.
Okay.
And so we alternate getting up early. So if it's my day to get up early, I'll get up, really early and get him out the door. And then I either start my day or go back to bed.
Yeah.
And then I try and go to the gym for 30 to 40 minutes and just to get myself moving. And then honestly, the day starts with trying to come up with a TikTok idea or a Instagram post, and then starting to answer the text that came through in the middle of the night, and then emails
Yeah.
that I missed the day before, and then I go to what my manager is talking about, and then it just gradually goes into a 12-day workday, 12-hour workday, and
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a micromanager. As my Eric, that was our original bass player who was in the band for 24 years, used to say, you wouldn't have it any other way, and I wouldn't. So when I
Yeah.
talk about how busy I am, just understand that it's by design. But
Yeah.
I still handle merch and day-to-day stuff. Like I am very hands-on. I'm essentially a co-manager of my band, and every little thing gets run by me, whether it's a photo of
Really?
guys that's going into a magazine or whatever. And so it's a busy day, and then not to mention
Yeah.
that a lot of days I have voiceover stuff. So I still do voices for a pizza chain here in the States, and I
Hmm.
still do Phineas and Ferb stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean it's never a dull moment. And I try and get out once a day, drive around, listen to a podcast, go get an iced tea. My mail is 15 minutes away, and so I'll go and get that, and then that's sort of like my outing, and then from there it kind of goes up into the evening, which is family time for me.
During these kind of days, doing all these chores and errands and stuff, do you get much time to listen to? You mentioned listen to podcasts, but listen to music, because I was just on to another artist last week, and it was just like, I only listen to podcasts when I'm off the road. I don't listen to music. Like, what do you get much chance to like check out new stuff, and like how much does that kind of go into stuff?
I'm also really bad about it. I mean, I listen to true crime podcasts, and I do go through, the new Propaganda album just came out, and so
Yep.
I listened to the new Propaganda album for a couple of days, and then I went back through the whole catalog, and then I was making letting Spotify make me Propaganda playlists, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually this is crazy, but I never got into No Use for a Name, and I'm like a new No Use for a Name fan, and so
Really?
I did that some too, but it's not, it's kind of more like we're doing some stuff around our house right now, and so it's like I have music playing when I'm doing that because I can't really focus on someone talking to me when I'm hyper focused.
Yeah. Of course, I'm the same.
And so music comes in handy there. But yeah,
Yeah.
when I'm driving around, man, it's mostly podcasts. But I will say this, since I started the country thing,
Yeah.
being back in the van, which is interesting because really most of my time listening to music for, the 9 years that Bowling for Soup was trying to, really, really scratching and biting and trying to do something before we had a hit, basically.
Right.
In the
Right.
van, was when we were just constantly just absorbing new music and just getting to music all the time. And
Yeah.
it's kind of back to that, where we're in the van and somebody, with the country band, or, Bowling for Soup will take the van sometimes to like a show in Texas, but not very much. And so then I'm kind of back into that world of like, oh, you got to hear this song, you got to hear this song. So it's more than it was, 3 years ago, but
Okay.
and when my friends release something, the Keep Flying is a band that we toured with, and
That's so funny you mentioned it, because I've literally got that written here, and I was just going to ask what you thought of the new Keep Flying record. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
I think it's so good,
It's
and
so cool.
it's funny. We were just listening to it the other day. I think this was Bowling for Soup. We had a show about 2 hours away, and so uh, what we do is we rent a box truck, and all of our gear goes to the truck, and two crew guys drive that down, and then the band. There's only three of us now, and then
Yeah.
there's another three crew guys, so we can jump in the country van, and there's plenty of room. So, we
Yeah.
don't have to do the whole try and rent something crazy. And so we drove down to the show and that had dropped. And so we were going down the street and I'm just like, man, isn't it cool to have like super talented friends?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
but yeah, I just absolutely love it. But yeah, that's sort of like when I guess I dive in. So I guess it's sort of like a mixture. I mean, I don't really think
Yeah.
I answered your question, but new music really is like friends. I
Yeah.
don't really get a lot of stuff. Honestly, I probably find more new music of people running across on TikTok, like the Paradox. I found that band, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now they're just
Yeah.
like blowing up.
They're
And
they're having a bit of a moment, aren't they? Yeah,
it's so cool to see, man. So they deserve it.
yeah, I got the singer lined up on Monday actually, which I'm very excited to
Nice.
dive into.
Nice.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
story is going to be an interesting one for sure. Yeah, cool, man. Obviously, something you did recently was stepped in did your stint at the Punk Rock Museum, being a tour guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was loving your Instagram updates on that, like, all the short videos with the people that you did that with. Like, it seemed like you were like a fun, engaging guide for them to have. I kind of just obviously want to ask a little bit what that experience was like for you. But before you do, if I just want to ask if you were a fan going to the Punk Rock Museum, who would be like your kind of dream guide from a band that you're into? Who to spend those
Interesting.
hours with or whatever.
As a fan, probably Tim Armstrong. Like
Okay.
go
Yeah.
through, and there's just so many things influenced him or that he was influenced by.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That he was influenced by, and that he also influenced in there. I think that would be an amazing. And he's got my second favorite, I guess probably my first favorite exhibit there is the original picture from Minor Threat of Ian's brother. That picture of him on the stairs with his head down with the mohawk, and then
Yeah.
Tim recreated it for And Out Came the Wolves, and they have them
Hmm.
side by side, but like huge, like 6 by 6, enormous, and then with the original photo right beside it. And I always, I love when we come to that. It's like, and that sits in the Social Distortion living room.
Nice.
With Mike
Nice.
Ness's like furniture and handwritten lyrics. So like I spend some time in that room. But yeah, I think Tim would be really cool to do that with. If not him, no, I think that's kind of like that would be sort of the dream. It'd be fun to
Yeah.
walk through there with somebody like Scott Ian from Anthrax because
Yeah.
I know he has those influences, and then like we sort of probably have similar tastes in like what we like punk metal wise. But that would be fun. But yeah, I really took to it. I really liked it. I knew I would. I really wasn't worried about whether or not I would have something to say because I don't really have a problem talking to people. But
Yeah.
I went in sight unseen. I mean, when my first tour started 20 minutes after I got there, and I had just what I did, Marat from the museum just basically took me on a path and showed me, how to go. And it's like IKEA. So like you just go one
Yeah.
way and then,
Yeah.
that. And he told me a couple of things, but all I did was I just sort of picked something in every room where I was like, okay, I can talk about that. I can talk about that.
Hmm.
And then I was just like, okay, I'm ready. And I did four of them, and they were all different. And no, I did six. Yeah, I
Okay.
did six. And they were all different, and we had a great time. And yeah, I'm already booked to go back twice.
Oh, sick.
I'm going to go every 6 months now. So I'm going in November, and then I'll be back again in April next year. And so, that now I sort of know, like, okay, I really want to get more. I want to know more about, Darby from the Germs. Like I know like he died the same day as John Lennon and that kind of stuff, but I want to be able to give a little bit more insight into that just because for such a terrible band, they're so influential, or at least
Yeah.
like known, you know what I mean? But like they were just god awful, but but I don't know. so is Gigi Allen, and you just never not hear about that guy. So I'm so sorry my camera keeps moving. It's so annoying.
It's funny. I'm kind of used to it now. Yeah.
It's so annoying. I cannot figure it. I have Googled it and
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
Obviously, you mentioned your 12-year-old before, and I saw you posted about, was it your oldest daughter? Was it, she's graduated college
She
recently?
did. Yeah, she graduated
Man.
college this last weekend, and she's got a degree now in hospitality and restaurant hotel management, and she's actually getting promoted to management within where she already works at a country club here in Dallas, which is great.
Nice.
And, yeah, and my oldest son just finished his first year at college and is back home, and then I got my youngest will be going into he's been in middle school, sixth grade. He's going into seventh grade.
Yeah.
So, they're all just at these real cool spots in their life that, I remember along the way. They're just, really good times. And they're all just really good, sweet humans and empathetic and thoughtful, kind people. And that's really, it's funny. I was just talking to my manager yesterday about this. And, he's just like, you're sending good human beings out of the house. It's kind of like all you can hope for. And I was like, it's oddly enough, it sort of feels like that's the reason we're here, like it's just in the smallest, bigger picture, like, because the world is so big and it's like the things that I do in all of the elements of my career, whether it's voices or whether it's music or whatever, or TikTok, for example, like it's just so far reaching. And then, and it to me it means so much. Then I just but when I come home and I'm just like I just look at these little humans and them experiencing their lives and just and the impact that I think they're going to have on the world in such a positive way, all three of them. And you're just like, man, that I incredibly enough I having an actual podcast where I talk to dads all the time, I hear it constantly. Yeah. That's the best thing I've ever done. And it's almost like one of those things where you say your spouse is your best friend, right? You hear people say that, but until you actually experience that, you're like, yeah, whatever, but it's like when you raise good human beings, it really is. You just feel like, oh my God, it's the best thing I ever did. And I do, there's gold and platinum records all over these walls. And I'm like, still, her walking across that stage the other day meant more to me, than anything I can think of, and,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And so, it puts it all into perspective for certain.
And I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but the obvious follow-up question to that is like, how into Bowling for Soup are the three of them, if at all? Do they appreciate the, having the rock star dad?
Yeah. Well, so Emma is an interesting study because she was born the day we got nominated for a Grammy. So me and her mom were literally in the delivery room when we got the call. And so she's a Grammy baby. So and then Phineas and Ferb came out a few years after that. So her whole life has been just this. And then Jack was born in 2006. And so sort of like at the peak, at least radio and TV wise. I mean,
right.
It's funny we talk about the peak of Bowling for Soup, and now we're playing bigger venues than we.
I mean, you only got Wembley this year and all of that.
So can we say that we've peaked yet? I don't really.
I don't know. It's an odd one, isn't it?
What scale do you put it on?
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, maybe we're not on television or on commercial radio anymore, but more people listen to us. So isn't that sort of But anyway, I'm going to get to the answer to your question, but I'm sort of just giving you sort of like the...
No. These tidbits are great.
And then, Everett, again, his whole life has just been, Everett is the one that he actually gets to go on tour and do all these things. The two older kids, their mom had like a really big, like her own career. And so their life was very normal and structured, not a lot of time on the road and things like that. Whereas my youngest, my wife sort of just makes her own rules and schedule and stuff. And so,
Yeah.
and we don't really like to be apart that much. So she comes out pretty much every tour. And if it's possible to bring him, she does. And so,
Okay.
he has spent a lot of time out on tour and stuff. So he's really into it. But he doesn't, he knows all the songs. It's crazy, but he really listens to more hip hop and stuff like that.
Right.
My oldest son was always my biggest fan. He would just tell everybody, like, my dad's famous,
Yeah.
like, at a 7-Eleven, like at a corner store, like, that's my dad. He sings 1985, and he actually sent me the greatest text maybe I've ever gotten last week. He just sent me a text and he goes, "I love you, Dad." And I go, "Oh, thanks, man. I really needed that today." I go,
Yeah.
and he goes, I go, "I'm having a stressful day." And he goes, "Well, if you're having a stressful day, you need to just remember that everything you did in your life got you to here and you made it." And, it was just this whole thing. And I go, "Where is this coming from?" And he goes, "I'm just sitting here listening to your songs and thinking about how lucky I am." And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I'm fighting back tears right now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
crier.
really touching, dude.
I was like, you have no idea, like,
Yeah.
A, how much I needed this today, but
Yeah.
like, just how much that means to hear you say that. And my daughter is she basically she gets stuck on like one song and she'll be like, right now I'm listening to I Got You, and that and so yeah, they're all fans, and really enjoy coming to shows when they can. And
Yeah.
Jack is like a huge fan of the country stuff, and so are all of his friends. And so
Okay.
they come in and go to like, he'll surprise me at country shows when I'm doing one local and like bring his buddies in and stuff. And all of
Oh,
a
that's
sudden
lovely.
got all these college kids with the same haircut in my show. And but, yeah, man, they're all they all appreciate it a lot. And and I know they're very aware of the sacrifices that I made for both. That, like, but I made a lot of sacrifices for the band. I mean, it probably cost me my first marriage,
Right. Right.
to their mother.
Yeah.
And I think they're aware of that. But they're also aware that after that, touring wise, that I've not missed many things, and I never really did the thing where we could have gone out for 3-4 months, 5 months, 6 months at a time and made lots and lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
I chose family over that. And so the longest once I had kids, the longest we would be gone is 2 weeks. And man, we
Really?
turned on tours with Green Day. We turned down tours with Blink-182. I turned down 2 reality TV shows. It's just
Yeah.
to me, family was more important. And
Yeah.
and I don't mind having to still work. It keeps me young.
Well, I suppose it's kind of worked out well in both ways, in that, obviously you were there for the important moments with the family, and as we just touched upon before, there's still plenty of people who want to see your band, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you made the right decisions on these things.
I feel like I did, and I feel like the fact that they think that too is the real
Yeah.
win. Like,
Yeah.
when you're doing it, you're like, I'm doing this for me as much as I am for them. I want to be there and I want to be a part of this. But
Yeah.
on the other side of it, now that they're adults, for them to both know, and my youngest son knows as well. But I will say, I do with him, because they're able to come out and visit. I will be gone a little bit longer. So we're doing a month-long tour here coming up, and it's like the longest we've been gone since 2007 or something.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, the fact that they're aware and they like, hey, Dad, we know that you could have gone to way more countries and really, really blown this thing up more. And we know you missed some things, but thank you for being there for us. And, and then, and the same is true for the band. I missed some family stuff for the sake of Bowling for Soup. And
Yeah.
we haven't been to many funerals or weddings or, baby showers or things like that. That was the thing when Bowling for Soup started. It was like, I pulled the band aside and I said, guys, if we're going to do this, if we're going to do it, let's do it. But everything changes from this point on. Like, if there's four of us in the band, and at the time we had one guy that we considered the fifth member. And I'm like, if you all think about it, if we each have to take 2 weekends off a year for a birthday or a weekend or a funeral or a birthday or
Yeah.
a wedding,
Yeah.
we're never going to have the time to do it. So at this point, we just don't do those things anymore. If you're there at home and you're lucky enough to be there, then that's that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, again, missed a lot of shit, but, again, I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah, I love the fact that, going back to what you said before, that your kids kind of recognize the moments that you turn down and stuff. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah, I never missed a dance competition.
Yeah.
I missed very few, I missed some ball games, but,
Yeah.
I was there for as many of them as humanly possible. And I still am, my 12-year-old still plays and I'm the DJ. I'm the park DJ, so I do their little walk-up songs and shit, and
Nice.
Live handles that when I'm gone. But
one thing that is on the horizon for you that I do want to talk about, which is relevant to both of us actually, is you're doing Four Chord Festival this year, and last year we became like the media partner of that festival. So we flew out to Pittsburgh. We did it last year. It's all happening again. So we're kind of in the planning stages with Rishi and Adam, who helps him run the festival. So yeah, just wanted to say that.
yeah,
Excited to see you in person at that.
I have to say about Rishi, he's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. And I really am so happy that he's in my life. He and Rob have been friends for years and years and years. And so, and I had met him when he was in Space Pimps. They actually they played one of Bowling for Soup's first shows in Pittsburgh ever. And I remember it. And we've talked about that. But I've really gotten to know him over the last couple of years, and he's tried to get us on that festival for, years. He's sent in the offer. And
sorry, is this the first time you're doing it then?
This is the first time we're doing it. And
did not realize that. Okay.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, we haven't been able to make it work, but you know what? I committed. I said, dude, when it's time, we will absolutely be there. Please don't stop sending us the offer. And he, he made good on his word and didn't do that. So we're very excited to be there and be a part of it. And, it's just so cool to see that he's built this into, a multi-million-dollar festival that like is still grassroots, like still not supported by a huge conglomerate. I mean, that
absolutely
doesn't really exist in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's his baby, and he's a scientist. He doesn't need the money, So it's like, I don't know that he needs to, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's just his love for this kind of music. It's funny because he was on this show about nearly 2 years ago, and it was another one I was rolling solos, which is me and him. And I'd been aware of Space Pimps, which then became Eternal Boy, and I knew of his festival because I guess we were connected on Facebook, but we'd never spoken or whatever. But we just like did a deep dive into obscure pop punk bands, and we just kind of became best friends over that. Like, just
man, speaking of Eternal Boy, my son came out for 4 or 5 days. My youngest Everett came out for 4 or 5 days on that, and on that tour, and that was his favorite band. It's all he listened to for months. Oh,
amazing.
After that was just like, you'd hear him in there when he's getting in the shower, ALEX, play Eternal Boy radio, and great band, good dudes.
Absolutely. And I mean, this will kind of communicate in the weeks leading up to the festival, but potentially we could do some stuff with you guys when we're there, but obviously we'll talk about that nearer the time. But yeah. Very excited to be part of that again. Very excited that you're going to be there yourself.
Yeah, me too.
I just want to shift over to the UK though, because is the UK one of the countries that your band's biggest in? Would you say?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, is that comfortably a fact?
So here's the thing. So like listener wise and all of that, it's neck and neck with the United States, but like.
Okay.
Our shows are way bigger in the UK because it's a more condensed population, and so like it takes us a solid 7 or 8 weeks to cover the United States. So it's just more spread out. So our shows aren't near as big, especially now, that we're doing arenas and and stuff like that over there. But yeah, the UK is not only that, but honestly, had the UK, you mentioned Radio 1 playing the bitch song in summer of '69. uh, had that not happened and then us gotten on Reading Festival and then Kerrang Radio or Kerrang TV and the box picking up the bitch song video and all of that, had
Yeah.
all of that love not happened for Bowling for Soup, uh, that second major label record, which would have been our sixth album, I think, but Drunk Enough to Dance wouldn't have been made. So that was made simply because of the buzz that was happening in the UK. This pop label over here in America was like, there's got to be something to this, and
Yeah.
we're going to give it another shot. And so, luckily Girl the Bad Guys went crazy in both countries.
Hmm.
And that was that. So yeah, I mean, but our numbers are, like, as far as listeners and stuff, are always bigger in the United States, but show wise and honestly, I would say love wise, it's UK is
Yeah.
our spot.
How are you feeling about that Wembley show? That's December, right?
And I'm feeling great about it. We're over half sold, and
Nice.
which they originally they wanted us to curtain it off, and I was just like, fuck it, we'll take the gamble. And
Yeah.
so I want to fill that thing up. And so I think the fans want to see it happen too. And
Yeah.
I've had friends do it. I know Frank Turner sold it out his first time, and
Yeah.
I really, man, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and you've got Punk Rock Factory as well, who I just saw at the weekend because my friends had them open up for them. They were opening up for my friends. And you ever heard of a band called Elvana before?
No,
Elvis fronted Nirvana cover band, which
got
started
it.
started as a joke, but now they had just headlined Brixton at the weekend, which is fucking
Wow.
mental.
Yeah, that's a good show, Punk Rock Factory and them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I found them during the pandemic, and just they were just doing their covers or whatever, and I was just like, God, this seems like it's gonna be huge. And it's just so cool to have seen it just absolutely, you know, blow up, man. I mean, they tour and do well in their own right. So I'm thankful
yeah,
that they're on it. And then yeah, Wheatus, who we just took on
yeah.
tour here in
Good
the
friends of yours.
yeah, good friends of ours we toured with for the first time. We took them over there in 2007, and then in the United States last year, and then like this past February over there in the UK. And good peeps.
That February tour, that was the record anniversary tour, right?
It was, yeah, it's funny. We were doing that tour over here, and the UK fan base, was just like, we want this, we want this. And so we had originally planned to do we have done a couple of Christmas tours in the past. We were going to do
Yeah.
something like that. So we postponed that to February and came over and did the album tour, and I'm so glad we did. It was just I'm not a huge fan of album tours, doing them anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sort of like, me as a fan, I want to hear all the hits, and I
Yeah.
know that most people are like that. But that being said, I'm really glad we did that, and I'm glad we did that record because it was really fun and it was cool to explore some of those songs, and it really opened up, I think, all of our eyes to, hey guys, we don't have to be sort of stuck on just doing the hits. Let's throw in like a real deep banger every once in a while. And so that's what
Okay.
we've been doing since we started that album tour. Like, if you come see us, even like at a place where like you would think, oh, they're just going to play the hits or whatever, then all of a sudden we're doing Ridiculous or Last Call Casualty or Next Ex-Girlfriend, or we'll I Don't
Yeah.
Want to Rock, or just something way down deep. And then it's really cool because it's like people are enjoying it, but you see the people who are like, I can't believe they're fucking playing this right now, and so that's really fun.
I saw you did that beer collab with that I think they're Yorkshire based Turning Point. Is that the first time you've done like a beer collaboration like that? Or have you done a few over the years?
No, we did one. We did Beer All the Bad Guys Want.
Oh, okay, nice.
Over here in the States. We did
Yeah,
a brew up in the Northeast, and then we did one down here in DFW Dallas area, and we did it to two of the mental health charities that I
nice.
work with were benefited by those.
Yeah,
And so yeah, when they approached us for this one, man, I was super excited about the way that they did all this, the way that they just it was just great. And I'm still getting pictures of people, that are still
Yeah,
finding
yeah.
of
Finding the can or
of
whatever.
Hangover You Do
You
Deserve.
do deserve.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
super fun.
That's cool. Yeah, we did that. I mean, I say our first beer collab. You never know. There might be more, but
Yeah.
randomly we did one with a brewery in New Jersey, and do you know that band 408? They're like
Oh yeah, yeah.
relatively, yeah. That was a random thing for us recently. So yeah, we've experienced that ourselves.
Nice. Yeah. 408's another one of those TikTok bands that's just doing
Yeah,
really great. So it's super cool.
yeah. No, they're really blowing up. Yeah, they're doing it right. Do you know? I was just on my run earlier this morning, obviously thinking about this interview, and then a memory just came from nowhere, popped into my head because I was thinking about obviously your relationship with the UK, but. I, tell me if I'm imagining this. To be fair, I could have Googled it first, but I just didn't have the chance. But I remember when you were on Never Mind the Buzzcocks. I got that's many years ago. But I just remember you said a joke that still stuck with me, and I was like, "Oh, that was very witty. That was quick of him." But it was something like they were talking about Kiss being like a huge band, and you were just like, "Yeah, man, they're 8 feet tall. They're enormous." But do you remember that? I remember thinking that was pretty good at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your memories of being on that show? I know that's going back quite a few years now.
I wanted to do it again right after I was on it because I didn't, it wasn't as easy back then to just like YouTube something and do and research
Yeah,
it. So I didn't really
yeah,
have any idea what I was getting into.
yeah.
And but Phil Jupitus had become a huge Bowling for Soup fan, still is, still comes out
Oh,
and
cool.
supports us and stuff. And
Yeah,
he
I saw him at Blink 182 show in about 2000, so I know he's always had time for this kind of music.
absolutely. And so yeah, he invited me on, and it was great. I will say also that it was so early in Bowling for Soup too that I didn't really speak
Yeah,
the language yet. Like I can make an English audience laugh, but like being in a conversation with other English people, you have to convert to like y'all's style of humor. And I
okay,
was
yeah,
still
yeah,
very much like, my sort of like observational, just like, different kind of jokes.
yeah.
And so most of the good jokes that I had got edited out.
Oh
And
no, really?
yeah, and that's okay. The fact that you remember one that I got in there, and I bet nobody laughed at it, because again, like those things were, that's not really an English joke. Like
Right.
that's an American joke for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they they are 8 feet tall. I mean, I've met them. They are. It's odd, but no, it was a fun experience, and I had a lot of, and it's super cool because people will still come up to me and go, "Dude, I remember when you on Never Mind the Buzzcocks," and so just the fact that that many people saw it was really cool. But they edited it like I was really quiet, and I really did
Yeah.
have some zingers at the taping, but not all of them made it. But
Oh man.
I think it's as much about like keeping it all in context and stuff. And a lot of times my stuff's really random. So, but yeah, it was a good experience nonetheless.
Do you have any favorite UK spots? I mean, in
Um,
terms of city, it can be cities, towns, or I've asked bands this, and they're just like Weatherspoons, So it's like
well,
it's a
yeah,
broad question. You can take it
I of
wherever you
course
want.
love Weatherspoons. My band is not big on Nando's, and I'm not huge on Wawa. I'm not really like a big ramen guy.
Hmm.
But man, I love Manchester. I love the people. I love the shows. I am just, I will always say that it's my favorite place to play. And I there's so many. Gosh, there's just so many. Yes, so Manchester. I love Manchester. Always have. From the time that we played our first show there, and I guess because it's kind of like our biggest. It was kind of our biggest one. Uh,
Yeah,
and that always makes a huge splash in your mind. But yeah, man, I just love the UK period. That just
yeah,
I just freaking love that. I love your love of music, man. I love your festivals and how you guys just know what you're doing. And it's really cool to it's really cool to be a part of it.
Who's on the list to tour with who you haven't toured with yet? Who's on the hit list?
Oh man, I want to tour with State Champs. But I think
Super nice guys as well.
the ultimate pop punk tour to me that needs to happen.
Yeah, go on.
Bowling for Soup, Newfound Glory, and it needs to happen. And I've tried, I've pitched. We're just waiting on, it's not the bands, it's the powers that be.
Okay.
Eventually we've got to make that happen, because I just feel like that is the ultimate. Now that Blink 182 is in the stratosphere, Sum 41 is gone.
Yeah.
We've all toured with Simple Plan. You know what I mean? It's time for Bowling for Soup and Newfound Glory to do a tour together.
What about Good Charlotte? I feel like they're kind of on that level and they're coming back again.
Good Charlotte would be great. The thing about Good Charlotte is I don't really know. What's crazy about them is I don't know. Like, are they an arena band or are they like I don't know. Like, they're huge, right? But then I don't know. Like, I don't know if we would play similar sized places or not. I mean, they just played American Idol, but I know like they're also like super in tune with culture and things. So I know that could be part of it. So I don't know, but I would love to tour with those guys for sure. I think that would be amazing too. I mean, I actually told Joel this couple of years ago. I said, man, if we went to the UK together, it would be bonkers. I was like, we could probably do, Wembley Stadium.
I reckon you'd have a shot of doing that. Who's the best guest you've had on Rockstar Dad's podcast?
Oh shit. Mark McGrath was great. From Sugar Ray.
Yeah, of course. Very cool guy.
We just had Nick Hexum from 311 yesterday, and he was super chill but super cool. And
nice.
The ones that really stand out are the ones that sort of like we don't go after, like they kind of come to us. It's like we had one yesterday, and his name was Jeff Nelligan. And he's just this dude that like raised 3 Army officers and wrote this book about raising kids. And I don't necessarily agree with all of his parental points, but it was just a really good conversation,
Yeah, okay.
And so those ones are always really fun. But yeah, gosh, I mean, it's so hard to remember, but yeah, we've definitely had some good ones over the years. I mean, it's any of the guys from Less Than Jake have all been good. And one time we had all the dads in Less Than Jake on at once, which was super fun. And Stacey Jones from American Hi-Fi was great. Butch Walker was
yeah.
So yeah, they're just there's so many good episodes. And what I love about our show is you can go back and listen to any of them, and you listen to Gary and I bullshit for 30 minutes and then you just get to hear a cool interview. And, it's a fun show.
And it's going to be timeless, particularly if it's, talking about being a barber and stuff,
I think so. I mean, I think it's one of those that like people can kind of go back and check it out. And it's for me, I don't really go back and listen much, but if I do, it's, each one is such a moment in time for at least the first segment or two, because you're just like hearing about what we're doing that day, So it's like there's no show notes, there's no interview prep, nothing. Everything is literally, I go, you ready to go? And I hit it, and then we just start having a conversation. And sometimes Gary will be like, oh, I have a story to tell you, and we won't even get to it because I start rambling about something and it makes him ramble into something else. He hadn't really done a lot of stuff like that before, and it's been really cool to see him, how he sort of has learned the whole power of a conversation needing to take up a little time in those situations. So like when we start to tell a story, everything starts to go out on all these various tangents, but it always comes back around. You always finish the story, and that's not easy to teach. He just figured it out. It's something I've always been able to do, I think, just from listening to so much radio and watching so much television.
Of course. Yeah.
But because that's the gift, right? That's the Howard Stern thing, right?
That's it.
That's his thing. He interrupts your answer on a question to get you talking about all these different things, and the gift is to be able to bring it back. And
Exactly.
You know, in his old age, he's not as good as that anymore. Sometimes you're like, I really wish he would have let that person answer that fucking question. um, but yeah, I just have so much fun. And like I said, you know, we don't make any money on that show or anything like that. And during the pandemic, I was like, we all, I think, had to kind of like do inventory and go, how am I spending my time? You know,
Yeah.
because this time with family that I'm getting here that I have to get is actually really important. And I really need to downsize. And but what that show is camaraderie among two best friends that
Yeah.
like we have to have, you know, each week. You know, it's like, hey, we're spending time together, whether you like it, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's just good. It's just good for it's good for Bowling for Soup. It's good for my mental health, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, I love doing that show.
What's a pop punk song that you wish you'd written by another artist?
Man, I mean, there's a lot of them. Uh, the two, so, all right. So personally, the one that I wish I would have written is Tell Me I'm a Wreck by Every Avenue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. If I was going to sit here and guess what you were going to say, that wouldn't have been high up my list. That's a good pick, man. That is a great song.
What a fucking song. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so good, you know, and it's so well written and like lyrically, every line is money, and it just, you know, you can just tell they were really firing on all cylinders when they made that record. But that
Yeah, it was their
song,
second full length, I think.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know, that was it's not lost on me that it was produced by Mitch Allen, you know, and
Oh, I didn't I didn't know that, and obviously,
yeah,
yeah, you have a link with him.
yes, of course, yeah, and
Yeah,
well, Friends Forever, and then
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
they originally did 1985, and
Of course.
he and I have written a few Bowling for Soup songs along the way, but and but I think honestly, man, I really do think that I think this. It's something I've been struggling with actually. Really, it's so weird that you asked me this because I think I just made this decision like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I honestly think the anthem for fucking pop punk in general, like if you had to have a song where you're like, there's this kind of music, and here it
Yeah.
is. This is the kind of music that
Yeah.
and you play in the song. It's got to be Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. Like
Oh, okay.
it
Really, you
just
think?
has to be. I just don't. I mean, it has everything. You know, it's like I get it. There's bigger songs. Blink has bigger
Yeah.
songs, and you know, and honestly, again, selfishly and as a fan, I would probably, if I had to pick another one, I'd probably pick something by Sugar Cult.
Mm, mm.
But I think honestly, Ocean Avenue is the representation of that entire time for us of all of our bands, mid 2000s, you know, early 2000s to mid 2000s, you know, a lot of us that started in the 90s but found our way into that, you know, that whole sweet spot 2002 to 2008,
Yeah.
2009, you know.
Yeah.
Um but I just, you know, like I would say Dear Maria Count Me In by All Time Low, but I think
Yeah.
that song is just it's too poetic. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing and great, but like I don't feel like if that was a standalone, like, you know, I think the cool thing about Yellow Card is that, or that Yellow Card song is it's like one of the things about pop punk that I really like is we just sort of say what we mean, you know?
Yeah.
And Dear Maria has like a lot of substance and underlying meaning to it. And in my opinion, anyway, like you sort of have to like get in there and sort of like dig it out. So
Mm.
uh it's a fucking amazing song. Again, that's another perfect song.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But
these are all good answers.
I could go on for days, but
Yeah.
I would just say like it, we when we play the Spotify game in which they've actually made into an actual thing now. It's called a jam session. But if you're on Spotify, you can send a link to all your friends and everybody on their phone. You can start picking songs and you randomize it. And the Spotify game is you try to pick who picked it, right? So you're
Okay. Yeah.
we're going down there and just okay, Jaret, it's Testament. Jaret picked this, if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
whatever. But in that game, whether it's family or whatever, I pick Tell Me I'm a Wreck every single time.
I love that.
Fucking great song.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Real quick, give you
Yeah, man,
just a question from a couple of friends who
Sure.
gave
Yeah,
me
man.
stuff, and then we can probably wrap this up. So shout out to my friend Matt Fagiani, who says to you, oh, okay, this is quite a broad question, but an interesting one. He said, what film or films are most watched over the years on the tour bus? And also, what's your favorite film of all time?
Yeah. Well, favorite film of all time, Pulp Fiction, or Arthur, the original, with Dudley Moore.
Oh, yeah.
What's great about the Bowling for Soup bus is we get on a roll and we're very much creatures of habit. And so, we had our Anchorman phase where we watched it every single day. And then we had our Step
Yeah.
Brothers phase where we watched it every single day. And then there's this movie, Andy Samberg movie called Hot Rod that we watch every single day. And so, yeah, I would say those are kind of the big. Dumb and Dumber is probably one of the most watched. Anchorman, the original one, and any and all of those where we can come in after a show. Everybody's had several drinks.
Yeah.
And you can put it on as background noise, but like still catch the humorous. We can choose to pay attention or not, kind of thing. And so, those ones are good. Any of the early Adam Sandler things get watched a lot, but. Anchorman had a really, really long run. Like we watched it. We must have watched that every day for 2 years.
My friend Stephen, oh, this is a very quick question, very specific one. Stephen Lowry's asking, can you get Wolves of Glendale to do a Bowling for Soup UK tour? I mean, I'm semi-aware of that band, but I assume they have a link with you if he's asking that.
That is being talked about.
Okay.
The thing about Bowling for Soup bringing anyone over, it's like, our stuff gets planned so far in advance. But I'll just say this is it Steve? Is that what you said?
Stephen. He hates being called Steve for some reason.
Okay, Stephen.
Yeah.
Well, I'll call him Steve. No, I'm just kidding. Steve, it's definitely on the short list. I think they are a perfect band to support Bowling for Soup. And so we actually, I sort of already know what we're going to do after Wembley. And then after that, I think that would be a perfect band to come over with us.
Oh, okay. Nice. So watch this space. Right. Can I ask just one final question, and then I will let you go? Just thinking about the future of Bowling for Soup, like I wonder how much you think about that and how long you would like it to kind of run for. Because I was lucky enough to. A band I was managing at the time were touring with Social Distortion a couple of years ago, so I was could be around Mike Ness, who was turning like 60 at the time.
Yeah.
Could you see you guys like still when you're at that age, still coming over to the UK, going around the world, touring America, even if it's just short runs, or do you think you'd want that to kind of be behind you at that stage? I don't know if that's something you think about.
It's definitely something to think about. I think. Bands like Social Distortion, Bad Religion, NoFX did 40 years. We just turned 30. So I think we got another 10 in us. I would just say that I would never want, sort of like when we started the only time we ever almost broke up was 2013. And there was a lot of stuff going on personally. I was getting a divorce, and Eric had just gotten a divorce, and Gary was having kids, his first child, and there was just a lot of things happening. But also, it just felt like we had sort of started to dip a little bit, like
right.
And the last thing that I wanted to do was run this band into the ground.
Yeah.
So I would never want to do the band a disservice by like not putting out an awesome product, or or letting the legacy down by like again going on too long, so to speak.
Yeah.
But that being said, yeah, man, I mean, I'm the same age as Mark Hoppus and Billy Joe Armstrong. Like we're all a couple of months apart.
Right.
And I don't think any of us really see any signs or any reason to stop right now. And so yeah, I mean, I think we've got a solid. We've got plans.
Yeah.
We've got touring plans already for the next 2 years. We're starting to talk about new music. In fact, I think we're going to record here in just a few weeks.
Oh, nice.
Start recording some new stuff. We have releases already in the pipeline. We have a pop punk covers record that's almost done, and a live record that we recorded in the UK, and of us doing the whole record.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, I think we'll go on as long as it makes sense. I'm feeling good. Mental health is under control, and now physical health is getting there. And, Rob is such a firecracker, now with the band. And then, Chris retiring sort of like, it put a lot of things into perspective of like, okay, we either are we doing this shit? And we are. So we're fired up and ready to keep going. And and the Descendants is another great example.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
like, so I think we're sort of looking to not only our peers, but those who paved the way, sort of seeing what it is and how they navigate this, and then I think it'll be clear as to what we need to do.
Good answer, man. On that note, I think we can probably wrap this up. Dude, really appreciate you giving us this time. It's been great to spend a bit of time with you, in virtually, albeit. But yeah, I guess I'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I'll go back to what you said at the first. It's interesting that you and I don't know one another because we seem to know all the same people. And
exactly.
It's so maybe we need to change that. So
yeah, exactly.
Let's hang out as soon as we can, and we'll talk some more shit.